So the Department of Health says shock tactics don't get the safe sex message across. The answer is true.
That's right. According to the Department of Health, shock campaigns run the risk of having people like you and I feeling the messages don't apply to us. Time for that, Kirsty. Right now, though, can you shock teenagers out of having sex? As I explained earlier, Leicester City Council is hoping you can, and it spent thousands on a 30-second video viral campaign to persuade youngsters to practice safe sex. As I mentioned earlier, it's a graphic and disturbing film in a kind of Blair Witch Project style. Indeed, my bosses at 5 felt the birth bit at the end was too strong to show you at this hour, so we've blurred that bit. Nevertheless, I would suggest those with a very delicate constitution might want to look away now. Still, you do get a free council flat. So what do we think? Could 30 seconds of video shock teenagers out of having sex? Persuade them to use contraceptives? Interestingly, the video was placed on YouTube by the council as a means to get it to use. The Daily Mail claims that YouTube execs then pulled it following complaints from the public that it was too graphic, but it's back there now. This very morning, YouTube apparently satisfied with its content. And the film, as you saw, ends with a web address, and it goes on to heybabe.co.uk. We checked out the site. It's a site packed with sensible, clearly explained sexual information. In fact, I'd have no hesitation in recommending the site whatsoever, none whatsoever. Leicester City Council has run other safe sex projects and has consistently put millions into youth schemes, and yet despite its best efforts, they found pregnancy rates in the city rose last year. That's why they've made this video. Can it reverse that trend? Well, psychologists, they're divided on the merits of shock tactics. Some reckon such images can stay in people's minds, make them behave better. Others warn the dangers of scaring kids witless, that it might actually put them off having kids in later life, full stop. Would that be such a bad thing? What do we think, then? Could this video be the key to reducing teen pregnancy rates in this country? What do you think, Scott?
Maybe, although I don't think it's sex so much as I think people are having sex with the wrong people. I think that's the problem. Because there's a lot of ugly people out there. I mean, you guys are all gorgeous, but, you know, I think that's for zones 3 and beyond, where all the monsters are.
Serious note, I mean, we have, in this country, the highest rate of teen pregnancy in Western Europe. There is I'm speaking to the wrong guy, aren't I?
Right. No. I think it's bad for teenagers, you know, to have unwanted pregnancies, but I think a 17, 18-year-old girl maybe should have a baby. Young kids should look after young kids. It's a lot of work having a kid, and if you're young, you think you have the energy and the time, have a kid. I mean, I think it's only a kind of a post-Victorian thing where we think you need to be in love and in marriage and there's a certain age to have a child. I think, you know, maybe the younger the better, because then you're young when your child is grown up, you know, like my mom was. My mom had me when she was 19, you know, and I had a really great life with my mom because she lived a certain period of time until I'm this age. And I have friends who are having kids when they're like 45, you know, and twins at 45. So when that kid's 20, that person's retired. It seems sad to me. So I just think make sure kids are educated, well-fed, and then get them out there, start populating. We need more pretty people.
Okay. Okay.
Less dorsal fins, more nice thighs. You know what I'm talking about?
Carol.
Yes, Matthew,
Is this video the key?
May I just inject a little bit of reason into Scott's diatribe? I tell you the irony of teenage pregnancy rates to me is Holland seems to have a rate of fraction of ours.
Yes, it does.
And every time I go to Amsterdam, the red light district is doing a thriving business.
Yeah, but have you heard the voices of the people in the red light district? They're all English.
I mean, look...
I mean, they really are all English.
Lowering the teenage pregnancy rate has a lot to do with education. If shock is part of that, then let's have videos like that. Don't forget, ads on telly when they want you to give £3 a week for a donkey sanctuary or an abused child or whatever. They're pretty extreme too, because you have to get the message across by... I mean, nobody's partially abused.
But it's traumatising. In a sense, Scott has a point, which is, you know, we demonise young people for having children. We demonise teenagers for exploring their bodies and their friends' bodies, which is something that teenagers have done, as far as I'm aware, forever.
And I've been demonised for it
many,
many
times. And now we're scaring them witless.
You raised the other key point. We've got to get rid of the culture. You said get a free council flat. There is a whole generation of teenagers out there who seem to think that a baby at 15 is a meal ticket, they get on benefits, and they might leapfrog the council flat waiting list.
Well,
that is something that has to be debunked as well.
You compare donkey abuse to child birthing. I just think you have to be careful. You know, I think that if someone wants to have a child and she's young and she's ready, then let her.
Okay,
No, I was
okay, but
talking
the
about
question is, she's ready.
communication,
She's
yeah.
ready, and what we've got out there is a lot of ignorance. This video isn't exactly packed with information.
No, the
It's
advert,
scary.
I can't see that the advert will make any difference whatsoever.
Well, it's a talking point. It's grabby. I mean,
It
I
won't
think
make
that's
any
quite
difference. You
grabby.
fill a child up with Alco Pops and skunk weed, they're going to go out and sleep with each other. That's what kids do. This is the thing. You explore
But
it when you're a bit merry and...
And if you tell them to not do something, they're really going to want to do
Listen,
it.
well, except I think that all the efforts that have been put in so far, and some of them are frankly quite naff, that here's something that I look at and I think, you know, it's grabby, it is. You do think, I looked at it and thought, oh, there's a fight. And then you realise it isn't a fight.
All right, it grabs your
it's in my-
attention, but I don't think the message is going to... When you're watching something in the cold light of day and seeing that and going, well, it's got quite a message to it, and you're actually at a party where you're a bit merry and you've got the opportunity to actually have sex with someone for the first time or the 15th
But what if
time
it's
or
younger
whatever.
kids? What if it's 12 and 13-year-olds?
I still don't think it's going to make a
Really?
difference. I think what you've got to do is see the long-term effects of it, what you're not going to be able to do in your life. You know, you want to go off with your mates on that holiday to Amsterdam, and I tell you why the Dutch have got the lowest teen pregnancies in Europe. Clogs. Never wear them. They're an amazing repellent.
The reason is because they start sex education.
Well, it's
when kids are
education, isn't
4 or
it?
5,
But it's
yeah.
an education.
Relationship education.
Yeah, it's a fully rounded education apart from the natural
And I guess that
curriculum.
if you're a young child growing up in Amsterdam seeing all these perverted British guys wandering around lusting
wanna
at
be like
windows-
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
men
yeah.
don't have to raise kids. Women do. So men can go to Amsterdam all they want. It's true.
Oh, no, you're right. No,
Children
but
are
there
left
is
for
a... No,
women
you're
to
right,
raise,
of course,
you
yeah.
know, so men can go. Men can have a kid. My father has 3 children, or so the 3 children know. Who knows how many kids my dad have, or how many you have? You probably don't even know if you have a child out there somewhere. Men tend to walk away from these experiences, whereas women stay put and raise the kid. That's why, again, women in that video are demonized. I think it's unfair. Where's the guy who created that? You know?
Lots of thoughts. I'm surprised I find myself alone in thinking this video is actually quite effective. Let's hear what you have to say. Who's on the line first, Kirsty?
We have Joanne on line 2.
Okay. Joanne, good morning.
Good morning, Matt.
So what do you make of the video?
Actually, if it's going to give the shock tactic, I think Carol's right. You know, we see all these RSPCA adverts and everything towards animals and everything. I think it will do good, and I think it will really shock the teenagers into teen pregnancy.
Would it be better?
But I think the main issue is we need to teach our kids from a really young age to respect themselves, respect their bodies, respect themselves. And
But this video doesn't do that. This video, I would imagine if you're 8 or 9 years old, if you were to see it, and with mobile phones, blah, 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 it's quite possible, would scare the bejesus out of them. And that's not what we should be aiming for, is it? I mean, that's like how the Catholic Church taught me, my sex education. You have your girlfriend in the back of the car, now boys, now boys, now boys, don't do it. That was my sex education, you know? Didn't exactly work.
No, but I think at the end of the day, if you teach yourself to respect yourself, then girls won't go out and get a reputation of being an SL or anything like that, and boys won't think it will be hard to be a daddy, you know? So I think these are the key cause that we're getting at teen pregnancies. We're not talking about 9, 10-year-olds, we're talking about 13, 14-year-olds coming into that age.
Would you like to see more of this kind of filming? This is one local authority working on its own, as far as I can see, and I salute them for the efforts they're making.
Yes.
Should we be seeing more of this kind of thing?
Yes, but at the right time in the evening as well. There's no point in putting drunk car adverts on at 12 o'clock at night.
No,
Everyone's
but
out
this
doing it.
is
They
on
need
the
to be at
miracle
right time.
of the internet, which, of course, all the young kids is like what they is doing like all the time, blood. That is like the truth.
It makes me
Thank
so
you, Joanne.
uncomfortable when you do that.
Thank you, Joanne. Let's have another, please, Kirsty.
We have Georgina on line 4.
Georgina, good morning.
Hello, Matthew.
And I'm told you're one of our younger viewers. How old are you, Georgina?
I'm 19.
19. OK, so probably just outside the age bracket that Leicester Council is working towards. What do you think of the video?
I think it's ridiculous, to be honest, because I think if you view that video, it's not really going to put the right view across to teenagers, because
Which
it's
should
like
be. What is... Go on,
drink
what...
driving adverts. Even though they're in place, people are still going to drink drive. You know, it's kind of hard to get the view across because I don't think people are going to take it seriously enough.
But Georgina, hang on. The drink drive adverts, right? As a result of the campaign over the last 30 years or so, fewer people drink drive. So even though the hardcore still will, and you will always have some girls getting pregnant, most people don't. So this video, if it was aimed at 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds...
I think it will still introduce the fact that having sex is the norm, because I think too many people are having sex at a younger age because it's the normal thing to do now. And by introducing videos like this, it's saying this is acceptable in some way when it shouldn't be at all, I don't think.
OK, OK. Not sure I agree with you, but I hear what you're saying. Thank you. Let's have another.
Jennifer's on line 1.
Jennifer, good morning.
Hello.
Hi there. What do you think of this sort of scare tactic video, Jennifer?
I just think that the government get too involved in people's lives in this way. I mean, I sort of followed the government lines of not getting pregnant when I was younger, going to university, getting a job. You know, I paid my student loan off when I was 30, and now I find myself 31, struggling to get pregnant. I've got 3 friends on IVF, and you know, now I feel like there's pressure on me. So, you know, girls seem to go through their whole lives having to, you know, battle with this whole pregnancy issue. And then when you're in your 30s, it's like you've got 5 years left. 5 years left until you're, you know...
The fertility goes down,
you know, practically infertile.
God, Jennifer, you think...
Women should be subsidized to have children. They always have been. Women have always, up to about 50 years ago, stayed home and raised kids. Not that they have to stay home, but they should be subsidized.
Jennifer's right that it's just pressure, isn't it, on women from almost pre-teen right the way through till 40 and beyond.
And it doesn't get any easier.
But there doesn't need to be pressure. Just allow them to do it, and then subsidize the raising of the child. You want a smarter population,
There is a recession. We're a bit light on public money sloshing around at the moment.
Not a recession for you. That blouse cost a lot, didn't it?
It was on sale.
It better be. I love you.
You're on very thin ice.
I'll tell you what, Jennifer, you have made me think. You really have there. Still think the video's good, and I'm gonna stand by what I said at the beginning, because I was very sceptical about it when I first heard about it, reading in the Daily Mail yesterday.
Badly filmed, though.
Huh?
Badly filmed.
But it's in that. It's like how they
Like how you'll film.
You're doing the kid thing again.
No. Just trying to keep in touch. Listen, we have to take a break. We also got to send the panel packing. Midwife TWStuff still to come over there, of course. Scott, what can I say? Great to see you.
Lovely to see you too.
A pleasure, as always. Don't forget, you can see Scott Kapura going much, much deeper and probably in a more offensive fashion at London's Soho Theatre from Monday. Karen and Steve, nice one. Thank you once again. Ladies and gents, give it up for a fantastic panel. After that video, it seems only natural we move on to Z2S Baby and Fertility Clinic. So if you're trying for a baby, struggling to get pregnant, maybe already expecting but having problems, then why not give Zeta a tinkle? No problem too big or too small.